Thank you for joining me and welcome to Camnet TV Men News. I am Precious Mzea Sakaleji. The headlines. Former CHISHIMBA KAMBWILI'S workers plead not guilty to stealing 160,000 United States dollars. The poultry industry hit hard by economic shock. Political parties told to appoint candidates on merit. And in international news, ZUMA fails to appear before the ZONDO Commission of Inquiry. In sports, FAS Women League will kick off on February 20th, 2021. Join me with the details after this commercial.
2021 is finally here. Zambia is at the crossroads heading towards general elections this August. In the world where fake news, biased reporting on national issues has become the order of the day, in a world where social media in most cases spills lies and exaggerated information, insightful coverage, Zambia needs one media. Living in a country where people are slowly promoting tribalism, hatred, bitterness and revenge, political temperature is heating up and people's hearts are perplexed. Zambia needs one media. Zambia being a Christian nation living under the lordship of Jesus Christ, the nation cannot afford a compromised gospel. Zambia needs a prophetic media house. For hope, peace and unity, Zambia needs Camnet television. For non-biased, factual reporting, balanced opinion, accurate news coverage, Zambia needs Camnet television. For national projects and development of our beloved country Zambia, watch Camnet TV on channel 274 DSTV, channel 98 on Go TV and channel 106 on Topstar. Remember, Camnet TV is not just another channel. Monday, 15th February 2021 on National Matters. Join Pastor Moses Chiluba as he hosts a vibrant, young, creative, self-motivated leader, Mlenga Sata. You can participate on the program through phone calls, text and Zoom. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
And now the main news in detail. The movement for voter sensitization in Petauke district has crowned Senior Chief Kalinda Walo and Chief Ndake as its ambassador to spearhead voter sensitization ahead of this year's general elections. The two traditional leaders who represent the Nsenga people of Petauke and Nyimba respectively were crowned over the weekend. Speaking when he crowned the two chiefs, Chief Madzimawe of the Ngoni-speaking people of Chipata district said traditional leaders are the custodian of their people, and as such the chief's involvement in the movement for voter sensitization program. He says this will help ensure that people on the grassroots understand the significance of taking part in national programs such as voting. Chief Madzimawe, who attributed voter apathy to lack of knowledge among other things, called on traditional leaders to work towards fighting violence and tribalism so that peace and democracy are upheld as the country goes to the polls on August 12th this year. He explains that it is only through voting that citizens can make their voices heard and have an impact on issues that affect their communities. And speaking after being crowned, Chief Ndake pledged to work with other stakeholders in ensuring that people in his chiefdom understand their rights and responsibilities of participating in the electoral process.
We are doing as a movement for voter sensitization is to see to it that each and every citizen takes part, participate. I know there are other religious organizations which do not take part, but my message to those is to think twice, because whatever happens in your day-to-day lives involves these elected leaders. Nkaniri pano yangoyamba and the crowning my two learned uncles is that now we are sending them that they should now go and engage other traditional leaders in Petauke and Nyimba. We need to start positioning ourselves.
If you can't vote, you cannot blame anybody if things are not running well. God willing, we'll do our best. But also, to urge those of you who are in this movement, violence, insults, at times goes to an extent of committing crimes, burning houses, beating others, it won't take us anywhere.
This event we are witnessing today of crowning our traditional leaders as ambassadors of movement for voter sensitization by Gogo Mazimawi simply shows how my government, under the able leadership of His Excellency Dr. Edgar Chagwalungu, is willing to be so democratic, to work with all members of the society in this country. Gentlemen, I urge our newly crowned Royal Highnesses to embrace the movement and share with our community at large.
In other news, Lusaka-based social scientist Innocent Kolala says it is regrettable that politics is becoming a preserve of the wealthy, as money appears to be a prerequisite for one to be adopted in order to represent the people. Mr. Kolala says the aspect of prioritizing people with money will affect women and youth participating in the forthcoming general elections. He notes that the situation is preventing people with the genuine capability to effectively represent people in facilitating development. Mr. Kolala notes the situation has in the past seen people with poor leadership qualities are sent into office owing to their ability to splash money. He has since urged political parties to stop imposing candidates on the people but allow them to choose people who are going to safeguard their interest.
Are supposed to sponsor, not a person himself sponsor himself to say, no, me because I've got I am a millionaire, I want to go and represent the people. Not at all. Let the people themselves identify, money or no money. As long as they see that this person indeed can represent us, then the institution, which is a political party, now they need to sponsor this person. But alas, that's what not is happening in most political parties. They are only identify the tycoons of today, of this country. They are only identifying those people who have got money, even in terms of giving those the so-called tickets to stand on their political parties. One has to cough a lot of money, starting from the constituency, bribing the constituency officials, bribing the district officials, bribing the provincial officials, bribing now the National Executive Committee or the MCC, the central committees also, whichever supreme organ which is there. And that will be the person whom they will feel is in good standing with the party, because that person has already almost the entire stage or the entire hierarchy. This is not supposed to be the case, and this is where we are losing it. And that's why you find even the issue of apathy is normally happening.
Former workers of National Democratic Congress leader CHISHIMBA Kambwili, accused of stealing his money amounting to 160,000 United States dollars, have pleaded not guilty before Lusaka magistrate Tandosa Chabala for the alleged offense. This is in a matter in which the 5 former employees of the NDC leader, while acting together with an army officer, a police officer, a former police officer and 23-year-old student who happened to be the best friend to the daughter of the opposition leader, orchestrated the plan to steal the 160,000 United States dollars. All the 9 accused denied the allegation when they took plea. The 5 former employees are a driver, a maid, a houseboy, garden boy and security guard. Earlier, when the matter was called, the state substituted the old charge sheet with the new one, which included 2 officers and 1 former police officer.
Involving the alleged theft of 160,000 United States dollars at the home of National Democratic Congress leader CHISHIMBA Kambwili has emerged, with now 2 police officers and 1 Zambia army soldier being added to the offense. Last week Friday, when the accused first appeared before court, only 5 of CHISHIMBA Kambwili's former employees and his daughter's best friend were before court. The 6 had failed to take plea, as one of the accused person was not before court. However, Monday morning, the court was informed of new changes to the charge sheet after the state substituted the old charge sheet with a new one that included the now 3 men in uniform. 32-year-old Jacob Sinadabwe, a soldier, Ilan Kalunga, a police officer, and 52-year-old David Zimba, a former police officer, are the 3 men in uniform alleged to have been involved. 5 of Dr. Kambwili's former employees include Rodney Ntanga, 47, a gardener, Esther Munyeka, 29, a maid, George Walia, 49, a driver, Milan Chemba, 35, a security guard, and Charles Kamutengo, a gardener. All the 9 accused persons, including the 23-year-old student Stacey Jones, denied the allegations before Magistrate Tandosa Chavala. Kambwili's employees are facing a charge of theft by servant, YAHWEH's daughter's friend, and the 3 officers are charged with theft. Rodney Ntanga, Esther Munyeka, and Charles Kamutengo were granted bail in the sum of 5,000 kwacha cash with 2 working sureties from a reputable institution. The incident is alleged to have occurred during the festive season last year in December. According to sources, Chanda's plan was to get small amount of her father's money, but when the wrong company got wind of the issue of the money in a safe, they conspired to steal a large amount. The source further revealed that the driver Walia brought a small farm from the stolen money, while the cook is alleged to have brought a car and a house. The source said the other recovered money was from the kidman who miraculously was gifted with the amount as the cartel was about to exit the KAMBWILI'S residence. Miriam Kemba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Meanwhile, National Democratic Congress leader CHISHIMBA KAMBWILI is set to open his defense on the 27th of February 2021 in a case in which he has been dragged to court by Congress party leader Peter Chanda for defamation of the president. In this matter, the NDC leader has been taken to court for questioning the head of state's relationship with the Lusaka businessman Valden Findlay and alleged that the presidential plane is used to carry drugs.
CHISHIMBA KAMBWILI, Zambia's opposition leader, is set to commence his defense this month before the Lusaka's magistrate court in a matter he has been charged with defamation of the president. KAMBWILI, who leads the National Democratic Congress Party (NDC), has been dragged to court by new Congress Party leader Peter Chanda for defamation of the president. In this matter, the NDC leader has been taken to court for questioning the head of state's relationship with Lusaka businessman Valden Findlay and alleged that the presidential plane is used to carry drugs. Earlier, when the matter was called before court Monday morning, the NDC leader was not before court to commence his defense. The court was informed by KAMBWILI'S private secretary, Fabian Mutale, that the accused was in the Copper Belt, specifically Luanshya, and unwell. The accused was given a benefit of doubt by the court for his absence after no medical report was presented. Last year, the 16th of November, the NDC leader was found with a case to answer by Magistrate Felix Kauma after the prosecution team, through their evidence, established a prima facie case against him. Some of the witnesses who testified before court, among them the complainant in this matter, Peter Chanda, had testified that the words uttered by opposition leader that Valden Findlay comes out the second person every time the president comes out from the flight is malicious and untrue. The NDC leader will now have to give his side of the story. On Wednesday, the 17th of February, his summons have been extended by the court. Miriam Kemba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
In other news, an assistant investigative officer at the Drug Enforcement Commission has testified that the commission never seized drugs from 24 Patriotic Front cadres accused of being in possession of psychotropic substances. Faith Nawa testified before the Lusaka Magistrate Court that on 23 December 2020, she received a call from Abex Police Station where she was informed that the police had detained 24 suspects from Chawama for trafficking drugs. She says the drugs in question were handed over to them by the police officer, and the accused persons refused to sign on the notice of seizure. In this matter, 24 Patriotic Front from Chawama are facing 2 counts of being in possession of offensive weapons and trafficking in 361.1 grams cannabis, contrary to the laws of Zambia. The accused are further accused of being behind the criminal activities in Chawama and surrounding areas. Matter comes up on 23 February 2021 for continuation of trial. Lusaka Magistrate Nsunge Chanda has ruled that testimony from Colonel Bernard Chileshe relating to the emolument of former Zambia Air Force Commander Eric Chimese is heard in camera. This is in a matter where former Lieutenant General Eric Chimese is facing charges of abuse of authority and is jointly charged with Cheetah Lodge proprietor James Chunga for money laundering. Last month, the accused lawyer Kelvin Fubebwalia objected to Colonel Bernard Chileshe from disclosing the amount of money that the accused accrued from the time he assumed office as ZAF commander until he was fired. Colonel Chileshe testified that Chimese's emoluments were approximately 11.7 million kwacha, but before he could disclose further information relating to what the accused accrued from pension benefits, salaries and travel allowances between 2011 and 2012, Walia curtailed his testimony, urging the evidence bordered on state security. Earlier, when the matter was called for continued trial Monday morning, Magistrate Chanda ruled that the evidence be heard in camera. In-camera proceeding is a proceeding carried out in private in the absence of the public and the press for the purpose of sensitivity. In other news, the government has warned that it will not compromise on its quest to evict illegal settlers in protected areas. Minister of Tourism and Arts Ronald Chitotela has ordered officers from the Department of National Parks and Wildlife working with the District Joint Operation Committee for evicting the 233 families who were squatters in Lukusuzi. Speaking after a visit to Chakomene Wildlife Camp under Lukusuzi National Park, Mr. Stotela says the next target is to remove those in the Kafue Flats and Mumbwa Game Management Area so that sanity can return to the parks. He says he stands ready to support his officers in doing the right thing. Mr. Stotela said government values the role of wildlife police officers in conservation for tourism and national development. And Kasungu Lukusuzi project coordinator Lakson Mwenya said the government working with GIZ has managed the project very well.
This is the operations complex, huh?
Orders, march! In Kafue National Park, in the Kafue ecosystem, whether they like it or not, you have to move. Those must move. They've got where they came from, they must go back to where they came from. No two ways about it. No two ways about it. The criminality, it will be criminality, whether committed by my friend, whether committed by a PF member, and unfortunately we are in an election where blackmail is the song of the day. No, I will not vote for it. No, don't blackmail me because of illegal voting and you want to use illegality for you to blackmail the system. No. And most of the people who encroach the national parks, they don't do it for agriculture, pure for criminality, for poaching. And they commit a lot of illegal activities. At the end of the day, they want to hide behind. No, we are fishermen. Today, Kafue Red Lake was the envy in the region. But if we are not careful, we remain with nothing.
The project was launched in September 2016. And the Permanent Secretary for Eastern Province launched the project right there in Chipata. The project has now been implemented for 4 years now. It came to an end last month. But why am I here? I am here, Honorable Minister, because my contract was just extended by 1 month until end of this month, simply to wind up the activities of the project.
Well done. The Mukushi Local Council says it has embarked on the agriculture project worth 118,000 kwacha. Mukushi Council Public Relations Officer Clarence Kauma says the local authority is expected to realize profit of about 53,000 kwacha from the project, which will go towards service provision to the local people. Mr. Kauma says the council is responding to the call by the central government that the local authority should venture into income generation activities and not wait on government funding. Mr. Kauma has since appealed to the residents of Mukushi to stop vandalizing the field, as the resources raised will benefit the local people.
So we as a local authority have this year embarked on a project to farm a total of about 13 hectares. And apparently what we have done is that we started with 10 hectares, thereafter went into the 3 hectares. And we pumped in a total of about 118,444.44 ngwe kwacha in this project. And we are expecting that at the end of it all, this will be about in April, we expect to reap a total of about 117,600 from this particular project. The monies that will be realized from this project will particularly go into service provision for our people in the district. Therefore, we can only urge the residents within this particular area to see to it that they safeguard this project and they help us, utilize this particular resource, because at the end of the day, all the benefits will go into service provision. This will include the maintenance of feeder roads as well as the drilling of boreholes, among other things.
You're watching Camnet TV's main news. We'll take our first set of commercials. We'll come back with more news after this.
I can take her a bake.
Yes, my dear.
I was thinking of getting you a Bugatti on your birthday.
Really?
I'm quiet. My name is Yana.
Don't worry, my dear. That's why there is insurance.
Insurance?
You've heard me.
Not just any kind of insurance, but Savenda General Insurance, a company that offers superior customer service, highly professional and dedicated staff. We are not just any insurance company, but an insurance company that actually pays our claims. We cover, among others, fire, marine, aviation, engineering, agriculture, motor vehicle, and miscellaneous insurance. So, live life to the full, knowing that Savenda General Insurance has got you covered. Savenda General Insurance. Insurance excellence.
Dr. Bigron, musaibala komutienda ukuni gift na land. Uchitenkubeti uibise mojo basayone. Oh! Mwina mushi, nakuletera njinga. Latest inaluvesi gear na mawaipa.
Difficult ya shidia njinga. Liam 19 pendef kondo. Transport, we got it.
Nanga phone for communication. Ipuzi sana chizungu. Yeah, you see what I mean?
It's a camera, difficult.
It's communication. We got it.
Inemomi! Powerful system ndimba X-Buzz.
Mufumile kukalale. Na mnaimo muli bakumushi. We got it. Yo Big Lord, utola inoleta njemfule mungani. Ngecho wachira pose na nchita 1, 2, 3, both of you. Kabala ngempanga. Don't be stupid. We got it.
Monday, 15th February 2021 on National Matters. Join Pastor Moses Chiluba as he hosts a vibrant, young, creative, self-motivated leader, Mlenga Sata. You can participate on the program through phone calls, text, and Zoom. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Hello, have you heard about Msika? Do you know that you can advertise for as low as 150 kwacha for 30 seconds? Well, Msika is here. Advertise on Msika between 17 hours and 18 hours. Just tell us about the services that you offer and we'll gladly put you on the market. For more details, you can contact
+260 953 995099. +260
962 444 726 or +260 971 177 467.
Msika, allowing your business to grow.
Thank you for staying with us. We continue with Camnet TV's main news. The Poultry Association of Zambia, PLEAD, says the high cost of fertilizer and other farming inputs in the country has negatively affected the poultry industry. In an interview with Camnet TV, Association Executive Director Dominic Chanda explains that the poultry feed is currently fetching about 380 kwacha in most parts of the country and expected to rise further. Despite this, Mr. Chanda said the cost of selling poultry produce has remained unattractive despite the high production cost. He has since urged poultry farmers in the country to increase their production levels if they are to realize decent profits from the business.
Poultry remains one of the most commonly available sources of proteins in the country, but the industry has not been spared by the effect of the depreciation of the local currency against other major currencies. With fertilizer currently fetching between 550 to 650 in the country, the production of crops such as maize and soybeans used in the production of poultry feed is expected to move to record high. This will result in the increase of poultry feed, a situation that has worried the Poultry Association of Zambia, considering that the local currency has continued to lose its battle against other major currencies.
That devaluation of the currency is what has actually pushed the prices of imports, fertilizer, to go up. Secondly, also, it has also pushed the prices of seed itself. And ultimately, this is what is going to impact negatively, specifically price-wise, on the final output, which is key to this industry, which is the maize, and also the soybeans. Soybeans, we don't use it direct in the industry, but we depend on the crushers to supply us with the cake. But as soon as their input, which is the beans, is expensive because the production cost was very high, resulting from the high prices of fertilizer and chemicals, which are imported using the hard currency, this definitely may have impact specifically on the cake that we use in the industry.
Association Executive Director Dominic Chanda also says the price at which poultry products are currently selling do not match with the cost of production.
Chicken is competing with other protein products. It is competing with beef, competing with pork, competing with fish, competing with carpenter, and now we have the soya chunk, who are also fall under the protein content, including beans. So the consumer who is living on less than $1 has a say. And where the prices are, for example, in Lusaka, the farm gate price is ranging between 50 and 55 kwacha each chicken, and the retail price is the one that is ranging between 60 and 70 kwacha depending on the location. The reasons why the prices are like that is that, one, there is consumer resistance to increasing the prices, and this is what is actually making the prices not to move up, because the factors of economics, which is supply and demand, have actually come into play here.
The association executive says the only way poultry business can be deemed profitable is if poultry farmers engage in large production, as opposed to small productions whose profit is minimal and does not match with the production period.
When you look at the cost of producing a chicken in Lusaka, if we do the statistics, it ranges between 40 and 42 kwacha. And if you can manage to do that, is an extremely good management, you should be able to hit roughly about, maybe say 40 kwacha per 50 kg. If your retail price is about, or farm gate price is 50, 55, you're still making that 10 kwacha profit. I know it's a 10 kwacha that is spanned over a period of about almost 2 months, because when you talk about a chicken growing for about 40 days or 35 to 40 days, you have 2 weeks of selling. You have roughly about almost 60 days. So if you do the bigger numbers, you can still make some good profits in the poultry industry. Equally with the eggs as well.
The need to ensure that poultry production remains profitable for all Zambians is key to ensuring protein efficiency in most households whose income levels have remained low. Prudence Chota for Camnet TV News.
In other news, The Zambia Development Agency, ZDA, has called on German investors to explore the vast investment opportunities in the country. ZDA Acting Manager Investment Promotion, Samson Simwanda, says the period between 2015 and 2020 saw Zambia import goods worth about $424,000 from Germany and only exported about $9,651 during the same period. Mr. Simwanda says German investors should consider investing in manufacturing, agriculture, energy, tourism and infrastructure sectors as they are considered Zambia's priority sectors. He says investors should also consider investing in cage farming on Lake Mweru and Bangweulu, where 5 sites have already identified land for processing and storage facilities reserve. Mr. Simwanda made the appeal during the German Zambia's Business webinar dubbed Doing Business in Zambia, held on January 12, 2021. And speaking during the same meeting, Zambia's ambassador to German, Anthony Mukwita, assured investors that their investments were safe in Zambia as government through ZDA has assured investment guarantee and securities to protect investments. The Zambian National Education Coalition ZANEC has opposed the automatic progression of pupils from grade 7 to grade 8. The 2020 grade 7 national progressive rate was pegged at 100%, as was the case in 2019 due to the current automatic progression policy. This means that all the 3,444 candidates who sat the 2020 grade 7 composite examination will progress to grade 8. ZANEC Executive Director George Amusunga says the automatic progression policy in its current form needs to be re-examined and changed. Mr. Amusunga says allowing children in grade 7 who cannot read and write to progress to grade 8 is not right. ZANEC would like to advise the Minister of General Education to consider changing this policy so that such children can either repeat in or progress through the vocational career path. Meanwhile, Mr. Hamusunga is happy that the Minister of Education has given ample time to parents and guardians to prepare for their grade 8 and 10 children by setting the opening of schools on 1st of March 2021.
Report by OECD's Program for International Student Assessment showed that only 5% of our grade 7 learners demonstrate minimum proficiency in literacy. This means that by having the automatic progression policy, we are allowing children in grade 7 who cannot read and write to progress to grade 8. ZANEC would like to advise the Ministry of General Education to consider changing this policy so that such children can either repeat or progress through the vocational career path. We are grateful that the ministry has given ample time to parents and guardians to prepare for their grade 8 and grade 10 children by setting the opening date for schools on 1st March 2021. This is important, especially that ZANEC is concerned that most parents of late have neglected the obligation to pay school fees, thereby making the running of schools amidst the COVID-19 pandemic very difficult by school management.
Teachers in Solwezi district of Northwestern Province at Kamalaka Primary School have resorted to utilizing the eucalyptus leaves in view of protecting themselves from the COVID-19. The school has equally intensified awareness creation on the COVID-19 among pupils. The pupils are being reminded on the need to uphold guidelines such as the wearing of face masks, sanitizing and social distancing.
Zambia recorded its first confirmed COVID-19 case in mid-March, and as of mid-August, nearly 10,000 additional cases had been reported. In an effort to contain the virus, the government took preventive measures, including closing schools. This in turn disrupted learning for over 4.2 million pupils who only had little time in class in the year 2020. And in 2021, under the new normal, President Edgar Lungu extended the opening of schools by 2 weeks from the initial January 18th to the 1st of February 2021 due to the second wave of the COVID-19. Under the new normal, it entails continued adherence to COVID-19 guidelines such as wearing face masks, social distance, hand sanitizing and washing, among other measures, while in school. And schools in Solwezi district of Northwestern Province have continued to undertake sensitization on COVID-19. At Kimakara Primary School, pupils are continuously being engaged on how to stay safe at home and in school.
Yala mchimwina aini bena okutura bibye yona afuma kuno mkwabo naye kuiwe wena kuwika hivyo so bano sa kushikula kuno mama na imena kuwaini sakubika bema apelako kuno kukaa kukuboko deni nashinga bibye nawela nababibye bakwambamba ndochiona kushaku kwe yubeka ibibeko.
Steaming, also known as ukufutikila in one of the local languages, has taken prominence in this locality as people flock to Kimakara Primary School to get the eucalyptus leaves. And this teacher at Kimakara Primary School has called on his fellow teachers across the country to be utilizing the steaming mechanism in order to protect themselves.
So, this is eucalyptus. So I do the steaming twice in a week. I do it one on Wednesday and the other one I do it usually on Friday and Saturdays. So that at least I do the prevention. But what is important, I can encourage my fellow teachers that corona is real. Let's use this eucalyptus and the so-called wenye.
Patrick Soko, Camnet News.
In other news, the country has recorded 811 new COVID-19 cases in the past 24 hours with 8 new deaths. Minister of Health Jonas Chanda has reported that Lusaka has continued to be an epicenter of the virus as most cases were reported from the province. Dr. Chanda says the cumulative number of COVID-19 deaths in the country now stand at 959, classified as 501 COVID-19 deaths and 458 COVID-19 related deaths. He says 392 patients have recovered from the virus in the last 24 hours from both home management and COVID-19 isolation facilities. The health minister says 6,027 cases remain active in both isolation facilities and home, while 221 patients are on oxygen therapy with 29 in critical condition. Dr. Chanda says the reduced number of COVID-19 cases admission being recorded in the country is a sign that there is indeed hope for the country to overcome. The minister has since urged people to affect the necessary behavior change and ensure adherence to the 5 golden rules. We take our second set of commercials. Coming next is international and sports news.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962 642 490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
And why do you look so pale and busy scratching yourself?
Well, Amwandi, you know my skin is very sensitive. I've tried all the skin products and nothing seems to work.
Have you tried Oracle Pure Glycerin?
Oracle Pure Glycerin? What's that?
Just give me a minute.
Oracle Pure Glycerin gives your skin a youthful and healthy glow.
Ish, you're glowing. Don't tell me.
Yes!
I already know the secrets. Oracle Pure Glycerin!
Try Oracle Pure Glycerin for that perfect skin.
Monday, 15th February 2021 on National Matters. Join Pastor Moses Chiluba as he hosts a vibrant, young, creative, self-motivated leader, Mlenga Sata. You can participate on the program through phone calls, text, and Zoom. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Super cereal. Super cereal.
Super cereal. We always start our day with nutritious super cereal. It's so easy to make. Just add hot water or milk. Fortified with essential vitamins, gives you energy and keeps you alert. Super cereal is so good for you. Comes in 3 yummy flavors: original, banana, and strawberry, and tastes so good.
Easy Super Cereal is made from non-GMO maize and soya and is good for the whole family. Found in all leading stores. Quick and easy.
Tastes delicious. Full of goodness.
Makes you stronger.
Super cereal.
Easy Super Cereal. Brought to you by Java Foods.
2021 is finally here. Zambia is at the crossroads heading towards general elections this August. In the world where fake news, biased reporting on national issues has become the order of the day, in a world where social media in most cases spills lies and exaggerated information, insightful coverage, Zambia needs one media. Living in a country where people are slowly promoting tribalism, hatred, bitterness and revenge, political temperature is heating up and people's hearts are perplexed. Zambia needs one media. Zambia being a Christian nation living under the lordship of Jesus Christ, the nation cannot afford a compromised gospel. Zambia needs a prophetic media house. For hope, peace and unity, Zambia needs Camnet television for non-biased, factual reporting, balanced opinion, accurate news coverage. Zambia needs Camnet television for national projects and development of our beloved country Zambia. Watch Camnet TV on channel 274 DSTV, channel 98 on Go TV, and channel 106 on Topstar. Remember, Camnet TV is not just another channel.
Welcome back. Now in international news. Former South African President Jacob Zuma's lawyer have formally informed the Commission on State Capture that he will not be appearing before the Commission. The Commission of Inquiry into State Capture has since been adjourned. Before the break, the Commission said the reasons that the former President Jacob Zuma has given for not appearing before the Commission until date are not valid. The Commission has confirmed receiving a letter from Zuma through his lawyer, despite a Constitutional Court judgment ordering him to appear before the Commission. Meanwhile, Zuma's supporters had gathered at his home of Nkandla to offer support. In other news, a picket calling for justice for Dimakatso Ratsileni is taking place at the Welcome Center Park in the Free State. Lesedi FM current affairs presenter was stabbed multiple times last Wednesday, allegedly by her husband. Police say the suspect is still on the run. Her condition is improving and she is said to be responding well to treatment. We monitored SABC.
Talk to us with regards to what the Constitutional Court judgment meant.
Insofar as the Constitutional Court judgment, its parameters really reaffirm the principle that the former president must appear before the Commission in accordance with the powers of the Commission and when summoned to do so. And over and above that, he must subject himself to questions from the Commission and should answer those questions unless he has grounds to articulate that answering those questions would incriminate himself or potentially incriminate himself.
What steps can be taken with regards to this? I mean, we know that, if you defy the highest court in the land, there must be action that can be taken. And here we are not talking about just an ordinary person. We are talking about the former president who had taken an oath to protect the very same court that does this work.
So the fact that it is a former president shouldn't actually matter in the sense that the law should apply to everybody. So from a perspective of any person defying a judgment of a court, whether it's the Constitutional Court or any other court, then the Commission in this instance would be able to bring contempt of court proceedings against him for defying that judgment, right? Over and above that, the Commission does have a few more legal avenues with respect to the Commissions Act that they can pursue as well.
The women are here, have gathered. They are saying, "Stop talking, declare GBV as a disaster." We know what happened to our colleague Dimakatso Ratselane, and Dimakatso Ratselane, she's not the only woman and child that is being abused in the country. A number of calls have been made for society to fight against women and child abuse, and this particular incident has shocked the world, the entire world. That has shocked South Africa, probably because of the pictures are trending. They've even gone as far as maybe outside of the borders of South Africa. We have seen even yesterday where the Department of Health has even made an appeal for people to stop circulating these pictures because it's very inhuman.
We are in support of Dimakatso and we wish her a speedy recovery. But we're also concerned about the delay in the arrest of the perpetrator because we don't understand why the police can't unleash all the resources that they have to arrest the perpetrator, because we don't know what is he thinking wherever he is. Maybe he is going to kill another woman or injure another woman. So we want to call upon the police to unleash all the resources that they have and arrest this man because he does not belong to be amongst the society. But there are many women who are being abused on a daily basis. We want to call upon our government to expedite the cases of gender-based violence because these cases are taking too long and the victims would end up being demoralized and they don't go to court again and the perpetrators just get it free. So you would remember that in 2010, government was able to establish courts that were dealing with the cases of 2010. Now we want government to also establish or strengthen the courts that are available to expedite the gender-based violence cases.
We now look at sports news. The Football Association of Zambia FAZ Women Leagues will kick off on February 20th, 2021. According to a circular from the FAZ League, the department signed by Registrar Eva Lengwe, all clubs had been informed with provision of fixtures already circulated. FAZ has decreed that only clubs that have completed registration procedures will be allowed to play. And sports analyst Musonda Chibulu has described the development as a milestone. He says the league will contribute to the growth of Zambian football. Well, that sports item brings us to the end of Camnet TV Midday News. But before we go, the headlines once again. Former CHISHIMBA KAMBWILI'S workers plead not guilty to stealing 160,000 United States dollars. The poultry industry hit hard by economic shocks. Political parties told to appoint candidates on merit. And in international news, ZUMA fails to appear before the ZONDO Commission of Inquiry. In sports, FAZ Women Leagues will kick off on February 20th, 2021. We now look at the Camnet verse of the day coming from the book of Psalms 113, 3-4. From the rising of the sun to his settling, let the name of Yahweh be praised. Yahweh is exalted above all the nation, his glory above the heavens. Well, thank you for joining me. I am Precious Mzeya Sakaleji. Good evening.